Hello and welcome to Dimsy's Domain, and I just watched Yugioh Vrains episode 7 I believe, and it was a bit of a dodgy one. Now I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my god, this is a very good episode. Well, let's get this straight. This was a very important episode, however it wasn't the best episode, but it was a very interesting episode. What it was trying to convey, I think that it was very successful in some regards, and it kind of was let down a bit in other parts. Now this episode had the duel between Playmaker and Blue Angel, the main crux of the duel, as well as the climax and the finale of the duel itself. We know that the leader of the Knights of Hanoi, Revolver, ordered for Blue Angel to be given a card, and essentially it makes her a Knight of Hanoi. But let's focus on the first half of the episode, which I believe was underwhelming. I think it was a little underwhelming in terms of, firstly, the dueling wasn't as fast paced, but it wasn't as underwhelming as it's a major negative. It's just, I expected them to really go into the main action, the story, the whole, oh, this is the main plot of this duel and this is the mental problem. It only happened a little bit later. So my negative for this episode is the fact that it was a bit of a slow burner, but when it burned, boy did it burn as hot as it really could get, because it was very, very effective in terms of how they're portraying and teasing up. Firstly, Akira Zaizen, who is the head of security of SOA Technology. We saw more about his backstory. Also, we get further fleshing out of Blue Angel, further fleshing out of Aoi Zaizen, who is the, I believe, the half sister of Akira Zaizen, and her motivations. She just wants to, she said this one line that she said to Playmaker and said, listen, don't underestimate me. And I think that's her main mantra. Her point is, don't underestimate me ever. None of you should ever underestimate me. Don't think that because of, I don't know, my appearance or my abilities or just for my upbringing, I can't do this, that. I think her main thing is she wants to prove a point, and she might be broken after the result of the duel. Now, before we go to that, the characterization of Blue Angel in this episode was, as I said, a slow burner, but there was really good imagery and also good dialogue when she was going through the duel, where she was very enthusiastic, very happy, and she was moving forward, and then slowly the frustration was kicking in. Oh, actually, Playmaker, this was all part of his design. Oh no, I'm just falling into his hands, and you see the frustration really take a hold of her. It was really effective when they led up to the use of Dark Angel, the card that she was given from the Knights of Hanoi, and the reason why it was very useful was because Yusaku as well as Ignis were both anticipating it. They were anticipating the use of this card, and everyone was like, okay, something's a bit weird, and they kind of built up her behavior, became a little bit more erratic. Her rationality, the way she was rationalizing things was just a bit off. Her anger, her emotions were really taking hold. This was at the same time of her telling us, oh listen, don't underestimate me, as you see Akira telling his backstory. Listen, we lost our parents, I done everything and anything, why are you rebelling against me, what is going on? He's trying to understand his sister, and this was why the narrative of this episode was really effective. It really was effective. Now throughout this episode, in terms of the dueling, first things first, I love the tricksters. Anything that's so scummy and causes chain burn, as well as the ability to have a notable offense, I'm going to make that. I'm going to acquire those cards. I am going to get Code of the Duelist. So, by the way, if you guys like openings, check out my videos. I'm going to have a lot more openings. I promise you, there's going to be amazing openings to come. But let's focus on the anime itself. So, my point was, the dueling was, as I said, a slow burner, but then he started coming into his combo plays. Now, here's one thing. This is my little, am I getting bored? Is it just me? Please comment down below. But the jazzy music during the whole Link summoning graphic of Yusaku of Playmaker is getting a tad boring. It's getting a tad wearing on the ears, in my opinion. The style of the duel was very different to that of Go Onizuka, whereby for Go Onizuka it was very much, as I said many times before, a wrestling match. Okay, you have the heel, he has his moments, then you have the face, they have their moments, and then boom, they have a little struggle, and then eventually the face, who is the hero, prevails. With this one, it was more so Blue Angel was just being brutal. She was brutalizing him, and this is why also I like the Trickstar deck. It was just nipping and just scratching and clawing away at the life point. So it was very nice to see. It was somewhat one-sided, and it's more so Yusaku trying to overcome this hill, overcome this cliff, and when he did have the upper hand, then you see Blue Angel going into a corner, and thus she activates this Dark Angel card. The graphic of her going a bit berserk was really good, and then I do like them focusing on the fact that, hey, listen, if she doesn't stop, if we don't beat her quickly, she's gonna have mental damage. Severe? How severe? I don't know. But it was a very effective way to add more tension, add more stakes to this duel if there wasn't enough already. And that's the thing. There didn't need to be as much stakes as there was, but they added it anyway. And that is very good, very effective. And me as a viewer, you as a viewer, a consumer of all Yu-Gi-Oh! Really dig it. I like duels that matter, and this duel felt like it mattered. Now, when it ended with Yusaku defeating Blue Angel, well, Playmaker defeating Blue Angel, the graphic and just the iconography of an angel with her wings being clipped, it really did look like the Blue Angel was Hanoi's angel, and now she is a fallen angel. And that was beautiful, absolutely sublime in the way they executed it to perfection. But as I said earlier, it was, yes, very good. It was actually excellent. However, the slow burn to the episode for the narrative, for the actual tension and the dialogue to really kick in and get into gear was a little bit too long for me. It was still an excellent episode. However, I've seen on the net, I've seen on a few forums, not forums actually, in my Facebook group and from other people's comment section, I know people love this episode. I really do enjoy this episode, but it's not a 10 out of 10. It's actually a strong 8.5 out of 10. What is most interesting is actually what happens next. They are really riding high with the current pacing of the episodes, and I do fear they might run out of steam quicker and sooner rather than later. I don't want that to be the case. Anyway, I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't the best episode, but it was a top episode. The narrative, the story, and the way the structure of the duel unfolded was effective, and it was enjoyable. And I do think that Blue Angel is going to be a major fan favorite if she is booked correctly, if she is written properly. And it does seem like Akira Zaizen might be set up for a redemption arc, but he hasn't done any atrocities yet to be redeemed. However, we know that he's on the side of SOL. Could we see him eventually coming to the eventual side of Yusaku and Co. if he wants to do it for the sake of his sister Aoi Zaizen? Anyway, with that being said, make sure to like, share, check out the Facebook page. The link is down below. With that being said, you may now exit Dimsy's domain. Subscribe with your dual disc. Thank you. Goodbye. Don't die.